Good afternoon, all of you. Today we will see the session is a very important chapter. This chapter is 14th chapter. This is very important chapter. This chapter topic is importing. Okay, importing C++. This topic is importing C++ programs in Python. Importing C++ programs in Python. Okay, yes. Here how to import, sir. This relation is there. Two things. The relation between one for the C++, so one of the programming language, and another one is a Python. In this importing method, how to do C++ programming Python. This about we will see today. In this session about I will come to presentation via is a PowerPoint presentation via. We will see one by one slide. Okay. Anything doubt? End of the class, you can ask me. My contact, my mobile number wise or anything. Okay. Yes. So this session here, the session will be goes to right like this. This is a standard 12 computer science. Here the session will go for a Python is importing C++ programs in Python chapter 14, right? Here this is 14.1 introduction. First we will see Python and C++ are general purpose programming language. These are general purpose programming language. However, Python is quite different from C++. Python quite different from C++. And these two languages complement one another perfectly. Here, Python is mostly used as scripting or glue language. That is, the top level program mostly calls routines written in C or C++. This is useful when the logic can be written in terms of existing code. For example, a program written in C++ but can be called and manipulated through Python program. Okay, yes. Here, this is about, we will see many things. Here, this is a Python. Okay, here Python is related to what? C++. What here is importing, is not icon is nothing but importing. Okay, here next we will see difference between Python and C++. This is important, 3 mark and 2 mark also. Here number 1, Python is a typically an interpreted language, but C++ typically a compiled language. And then Python is a dynamic typed language, but C++ is compiled statically typed language. Data type is not required while declaring variable. Data type is required while declaring variable. It can act both scripting and general purpose language, but it is a general purpose language. This is a very important questions. Okay, next. Here the scripting language, the 14.2 version, sorry, the part scripting language. Here a scripting language is a programming language designed for integrating and communicating with other programming languages. Some of the most widely used scripting languages are JavaScript, VB Script, PHP, Perl, and then Python, Ruby, and then ASP, and TCL, right? Since a scripting language is normally used in conjunction with another programming language, they are often found alongside HTML, Java, or C++. Okay, here difference between scripting and programming language. Scripting language and programming language looks like the following picture. You see here diagram also representation. You have to see once again clearly. Next, difference between scripting and programming language. Basically, all scripting languages are programming languages, right? The theoretical difference between the two is that scripting languages do not require the compilation step and are rather interpreted. For example, normally a C++ program needs to be compiled before running, whereas a scripting language like JavaScript or Python need not be compiled. A scripting language requires an interpreter while a programming language requires a compiler. A given language can be called as a scripting or programming language. Depending on the environment, they are put to use. Okay, next we will see applications of script languages. Applications of scripting languages. Here first one is the applications of scripting languages to automate certain tasks in a program. Number 2, extracting information from a data set. Number 3, less code intensive as compared to traditional programming language. Fourth one is can bring new functions to applications and glue complex system together. The next, here applications of scripting languages. Python is actually an interpreted high-level general purpose programming language that can be used on any modern computer operating system. It can be used for processing text, numbers, images, scientific data, and just about anything else you might save on a computer. Nowadays, large applications are written almost exclusively in Python. Here, features of Python over C++. Features of Python over C++. Here, Python uses automatic garbage collection, whereas C++ does not. C++ is a statically typed language, while Python is a dynamically typed language. Python runs through an interpreter, while C++ is pre-compiled. Python code tends to be 5 to 10 times shorter than that are written in C++. In Python, there is no need to declare type explicitly, whereas it should be done in C++, right? But in Python, a function may accept an argument of any type and return multiple values without any kind of declaration beforehand, whereas in C++ return statement can return only one value. Okay, next we will see, note this important one, Python deletes unwanted objects built-in type or class instance automatically to free the memory space. Is a very important one. The process by which Python periodically here frees and reclaims blocks of memory that no longer are in use is called garbage collection. That's why we will say the garbage in, garbage out, right? Yes. In that session, importing C++ files in Python. In this Python, importing C++ program in a Python program is called wrapping, right? Wrapping of C++ in Python. Wrapping or creating Python interfaces for C++ programs are done in many ways. The commonly used interfaces are Python C API. API stands for Application Programming Interface for interfacing with C programs. C types for interfacing with C programs. Now will we see SWIG is nothing but simplified wrapper interface generator, both C and C++. Next, Cython, CYTHON. CYTHON is both a Python-like language for writing C extensions. Next, we will see Boost, Python, frame for interfacing Python and C++. Now, MINGW is nothing but MinGW the minimalized, so the minimalized GNU for Windows. Okay, next we'll see the MI and GW. Min DW refers to a set of runtime header files used in compiling and linked the code of C, C++ and Photon to be run on Windows operating system. MINGW W64 version of MINGW is the best compiler for C++ on Windows. To compile and execute the C++ program, you need G++ for Windows. MINGW allows to compile and execute C++ program dynamically through Python programming using G++. Okay, here now Python program that contains the C++ coding can be executed through either by using command prompt or by run terminal. Here G++ is a program that calls GCC, is nothing but GNU C compiler, and automatically linked the required C++ library files to the object code. Installation of MINGW, MinGW is explained in Annexure 3 in that session. You see executing C++ program through double click on the command prompt on the run terminal. Here the Python 2.7.6 default, here also link is given, right? Here in this example, the prompt shows the C:/ and extension of the greater than. See the highlighted area in the above window. To change a directory, cd command is used. For example, to go to the direction pyprg, type the command cd pyprg in the command prompt. Okay, yes. Here, this about, we will see executing a C++ program through Python. Consider the example pycpp.py program, which will read the C++ program pali.cpp. The pali.cpp program accepts a number and display whether it is a palindrome or not. This program is palindrome or not. Here, for example, the entered input numbers is 232, right? The output display will be palindrome. Why? Because 232 will take left to right. Now 232, here right to left also 232. So left to right and right to left, the same process will happen. Here the C++ program pali is a type in the notepad and saved as a pali.cpp. Same way the Python program pycpp code is also typed notepad and saved in pycpp.py. Okay, this ways we will execute some program. To execute our program, double click the run terminal, change the path to the Python folder location. Right, the syntax to execute the Python program is here Python file name, here also here C++ file without cpp extension, where Python keyword execute Python program from command line, filename.py. Here the name of the Python program to be executed, here input mode, C++ file name without cpp extension, name of the C++ file to be compiled and executed. Okay, yes, this is about, for example, the Python py.cpp.py, here I is a pali in the command prompt and press enter key. If the compilation is successful, you will get the desired output. Otherwise the error will be displayed. Okay, here executing C++ program through Python. Now let us will see the execution through our example pycpp.py and poly.cpp. These two programs are stored in the folder C:/ here /pyprg. If the programs are not located in same folder, then the complete path must be specified for the files during execution. Now to clear the screen in command window, use cls command, is important one mark here. To clear the screen command window, cls here command. Okay, here in this execution of the program about, we will see this output is displayed to like this. Now let us will see how to write Python program compilation C++. code about, we will see Python programs to import C++. This is about, we will in this session, Python program to import C++. Python contains many modules. For a problem, Python allows programmers to have the flexibility in using different modules as per their convenience. The Python program what we have written contains a few new commands which we have not come across in basic Python program. Since our program is an integration of two different languages. Since our program is an integration of two different languages, we have to import the module like OS, SYS and GetOpt. It is GetOpt. Here, module in this modular programming is a software design technique to split your code into separate parts. These parts are called modules. The focus for this separation should have modules with no or just few dependencies. Here, just dependencies upon other modules. In other words, minimization of dependencies is the goal. In other words, minimization of dependencies is the goal. But how do we create module in Python? Modular referred to a file containing Python statements and definitions. A file containing Python code, for example, factorial.py is called a module and its module name would be factorial. We use modules to break down large programs into small, manageable and organized files. Furthermore, modules provide reusability of code. We can define our most used functions in a module and import it instead of copying their definitions into different programs. Here def of factor of n, f equal to 1 is the initial value. If n is double equal to 0, here return 0. If n is double equal to 1, return 1. Else for I in range 1 comma n plus 1 is a colon. We know f equal to f star I and then print of f. Here, the above example is named as a factorial py. The value factor of 5 is nothing but 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Here, in the process mathematically in the program via it will accept is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So, we'll get the answer 120, right? Here, how to import modules in Python? We can import the definitions inside a module to another module. We use the import keyword to do this. The import our previously defined module factorial. We type here the following in Python prompt. Import in the method to import our previously defined module factorial. We type the following in the Python prompt. Here import factorial. Using the module name, we can access the functions defined inside the module. The dot operator is used to access the functions. The syntax for accessing the functions from the module is module dot function name, right? Here factorial dot fact of 5 120, factorial dot fact of 5. Here fact of 5 is a function called, dot is a dot operator, factorial is a module name. Now Python has a number of standard modules. Is nothing, standard means built-in modules. Standard modules can be imported the same way as we import our user-defined modules. Standard modules can be imported the same way as we import our user-defined modules. We are now going to see the standard modules which are required for our program to run C++ code. Python SYS module. This module provides access to built-in variables used by the interpreter. One among the variables in SYS module is argv. Here sys.argv. That statement sys.argv is the list of command line arguments passed to the Python program. Argv contains all the items that come via the command line input. It is basically a list holding the command line arguments of the program. To use sys.argv, import sys should be used. Okay, here the first argument sys.argv of 0 contains the name of the Python programs. Example poly.py, and sys.argv of 1 is the next argument passed to the program. Here it is the C++ file which will be the argument passed through main. For example, main sys.argv of 1. The input file C++ file is sent along with its path as a list array using argv of 1 dot argv of 0 contains the Python program, which is need not to be paused because by default main contains source code reference. Here Python OS module. The OS module in Python provides a way of using operating system dependent functionality. The functions that the OS module allows you to interface with the Windows operating system where Python is running on. os.system execute the C++ compiling command. A string contains Unix, C command, which also supports C++ command in the shell. Here it is command window. For example, to compile C++ program, G++ compiler should be invoked. Here to do so, following command is used. So os.system g++ plus variable of name and then mode variable of name 2. Here where os.system function system defined in OS module to interact with the operating system. G++ general compiler to compile C++ program under Windows operating system. Here variable underscore name of 1, name of the C++ file along with its path and without extension .cpp in string format. Here we'll see mode to specify input or output mode. Here it is 0 prefixed with hyphen. Variable hyphen name 2, name of the executable file without extension .exe in straight format. Name of the executable file without extension .exe in string format. For example, The command to compile and execute C++ program is given below. os.system g++ plus cpp file plus, here O is a single quotes, plus exe file. G++ compiler compiles the file cpp file and O output sent to exe file. Plus in OS system indicates that all strings are concatenated as a single string. Therefore, give a space after each word for the above argument. For example, G++, this is in single quotes, plus cpp underscore file plus a single quotes underscore 0 or plus x underscore file. Now, Python GetOpt module. The GetOpt module of Python helps you to parse is nothing but split command line options and arguments. This module provides GetOpt method to enable command line argument parsing. GetOpt method. This method parses command line options and parameter list. Here, now the following is the syntax for this method. Here opts args getopt is your argv options and the long options. Now where argv, this is the argument list of values to be parsed split in our program. The complete command will be parsed as a list. For example, here c:/pyprg/pali.py_ic here/pyprg/poly_cpp. Now options. This is string of option letters that the Python program recognize as for input or for output with options like I or O that followed by a colon. Here colon is used to denote the mode. Now long options. This contains a list of strings. Argument of long options should be followed by an equal sign. In our program, the C++ file name along with its path will be passed as string and I will also be passed to indicate it as the input file. Here GetOpt method returns value consisting of two elements. Each of these values are stored separately in two different lists, arrays obs and args. So obs contains list of splitted strings like mode and path. So args contains error string if at all the comment is given with wrong path or mode. Args will be an empty list if there is no error. Here, for example, the Python code which is going to execute the C++ file P4 in command line will have the GetOpt method like the following ones. opts, args equal to GetOpt or so argument b of I here I file, where opts contains here it should be py prg p4. Options mode should be followed by colon. Here value absolute path of C++ file. Okay. Now in our examples, since the entire command line commands are parsed and no leftover argument, the second argument args will be empty. If args is displayed using print command, it displays the output as here the square bracket open and close and then print args. Now here some more commands for wrapping C++ code. If name equal to main syst argv of 1, name a special variable, a name in Python. Since there is no main function in Python, when the command to run a Python program,
is given to the interpreter, the code that is at level 0, so indentation, topmost line of the program is to be executed. However, before doing that, interpreter will define a few special variables. Here, name is one such special variables which by default stores the name of the file. If the source file is executed as the main program, the interpreter sets the name variable to have the name of the source file as its value. Main by default contains the name of the source file Python program. Name is a built-in variable which evaluates to the name of the current module. Thus, it can be used to check whether the current script is being run on its own. Now, for example, consider the following. Here if underscore name, here main of the function. If command line Python program itself is going to execute first, then main contains the name of that Python program, and the Python special variable name also contain the Python program name. If the condition is true, it calls the main which is passed with C++ file as argument. Now here note SYS argv of 1 set everything after the script name file name. SYS argv of 0 is the script name Python program. Remember string slicing you have studied in chapter 8, right?